Goyant, Kollso, Naka.
So why are there so many protests happening all over Goa?
Why is Goa opposing double tracks?
Who is this coal for?
Where is it coming from?
Why is the government trying to suppress the voices of those who are protesting?
We will try to answer all these questions in the next few minutes.
So watch this video till the end and share this video with your friends and family so you can share an awareness about this topic. So who is this development for anyway? Is it for the public? Maybe a little bit, but not all of it. So before we start, let me tell you the exact timeline of events which led to the approval of 3 projects in Goa.
If we go back to 2013-14, coal was coming in very small quantities, approximately about 7.5 million tons per annum, when the change of government happened in India. One of the so-called industrialists who was quite influential, played, as alleged by newspapers, played a very key role in the change of government. And he happened to go in for a mine in Australia. A prime minister visiting Australia subsequently, where this industrialist also accompanied him. And the people of Australia are very alarmed at that. They have been opposing the reopening of the mine because it will lead to ecological damage, and they have been protesting. So the protest started somewhere when the news broke out that this industrialist has bought the Carmichael mine. November, to be precise, was the time when one Cape-sized vessel entered Mormugao Port Trust. It carried 82,499 tons of coal. That was the biggest consignment of coal ever any ship had carried. 2 days later, on 25th November, Prime Minister under his chairmanship approved the Sagarmala project. Now, what is Sagarmala project? Sagarmala, as the word suggests, Sagar is river and Mala is garland. Bigger idea was also to connect all the major ports in India. So connecting all these ports with the idea that to increase the trade and business, increase import, export, and that would fuel the economy. That was a good idea. But now when we look back, this Sagarmala has turned out to be something like, in Hindi, Fasi ka fanda for Goans. When it comes to MPT, can MPT handle the coal? No. MPT's capacity, present capacity, is approximately 12 million tons per annum. In October 2016, there's this consultant company called ECOM, which submitted its master plan on modernization and expansion of MPT to handle more cargo, which we look at as coal. They advised that there should be new machineries, there should be modern equipment, more berths, dredging. That is what we fear, Goans fear. Dredging is going to kill our rivers, biodiversity, the livelihood of fishermen. This happened in October 2016, where the master plan was submitted. What happens in November, a month later, somewhere around 25th or 26th of November 2016, is the Goa government hands over 6 important rivers of Goa to the center in the name of nationalization. As per the amendment to an act passed by the parliament, which is the IWAI Act 1985, Indian Waterway Act of India, that was amended by the parliament of about 4-5 years back. In that, they say there is something called, a word used, upper tenant land. Now, upper tenant land is something that is land on either side of the river bank, and it says the government will go in for compulsory acquisition of upper tenant land. That means compulsory acquisition of unlimited land on either side of the river banks. Why? Why so much land? Obviously, there's no place in Vasco and Mormugao to stack up this huge quantity of coal which is going to come into Goa. So naturally, start stacking up at specific places on the either side of the river bank. That is where that thing has been coined that Goa is going to turn into a coal hub. So now we know the coal is going to come in large quantity. We know that they are going to stack up coal all over on either side of the river banks. They have started reclaiming land from the Zuari. That is documentary proof over that. They have displaced fishermen, demolished their houses. Now come to 2017. What happens is on 18th September 2017, the Ministry of Shipping writes a letter to the government of Goa, the captain of ports. And in that they say, we want 9 jetties to be built in these particular villages. Now that helps us in joining the dots. It solves the mystery of if the coal is going to also go by the rivers, people would ask, how is the coal going to be unloaded? So these jetties which are coming, when you superimpose the location of the jetties, it exactly fits in this appurtenant land which we are talking about, which has been passed by the parliament, and it gets connected to these national highways which are getting expanded. So that means coal is going to go by rail, coal is going to go by national highways, and coal is going to go by rivers, and it is going to get unloaded at the jetties, these 9 jetties which have been mentioned in that letter from the center, and from the jetties it is going to get loaded onto the trucks, huge trucks probably of 80 tons capacity, and then it connects on the national highways, and there you are. The 3-dimensional attack on Goa is complete. The mystery is solved. And finally the coal goes into Maharashtra and Karnataka. Not meant for Goa or any industries in Goa. So there are a large number of coal-based companies in Karnataka and Maharashtra.
So how much coal was imported till 2014 and how much destruction has it caused?
Till 2013, 7.5 million tons of coal was being imported by the Mormugao Port Trust.
If you relate to the COVID deaths that happened in Goa, maximum number of deaths, over 55% of the deaths happened in Vasco and in around Vasco. And the doctors, they say that these people have been continuously exposed to the coal dust. They are breathing coal dust 24/7. So naturally the immunity has come down. They are not in a position to fight back the coronavirus.
So what are the 3 projects and what are they used for? Doubling of the railway track, expansion of the national highway, and a new 400 kilowatts transmission line.
The 136 million tons of coal that is going to be coming to Goa will not be able to be transported to Karnataka and Maharashtra via rail alone. So the load will be transported by rail, road and water. 51 million tons will be transported by double tracks and the rest by road and river.
The new 400 kilowatt line is actually being built to provide electricity for trains. There will be a substation right next to the Kollso railway station. A substation is used to step up or step down the voltage. This project has its pros and cons. The pros: the electrification of railway route will make the route completely pollution free as there will be no diesel engines coming to Goa. The cons of this project will be the 400 kilowatts will be used to move the coal from Goa to Karnataka.
Studies which have been released by WHO, World Health Organization, says that damage which is done on the people is people suffer from cancer, they get strokes, they got breathing problems, all related to lungs, and it's also very dangerous to expectant mothers. The second is after the closure of mining industry in Goa, the only industry, organized industry which is remaining is tourism. Now what will happen if there's coal dust all over? We've got health problems, coal dust everywhere, so the tourist inflow stops, so tourism industry collapses. Now this double tracking, when you have a look at the plan where the double tracking is going to happen, you've got a whole lot of houses, including heritage houses, some as old as 200 to 300 years old, they're going to get demolished to make way for this double tracking for the coal. So if you see, all this thing is going to kill the very idea of Goa.
So why are we protesting against doubling of tracks? Because of the double tracks, more and more coal will be transported. When the train travels at high speed, there will be lot of coal debris that will travel 15 kilometers in all directions.
Now if you add rail, road, sea and river, Goa will be basically surrounded by coal dust, which won't be good for our future generations. So why is the government trying to suppress the voices of those protesting against these projects? It's a quid pro quo situation. Well, in simple terms, if a businessman pays to make you win elections, you have to return the favor by making him richer.
We as individuals, family members, youth, all of us need to come down on ground level and voice up. It's now or never.
My question to the government is, when the rest of the world is moving towards renewable energy, why are we building infrastructure to support energy from coal?
By the way guys, in 2018, the total primary energy consumption from coal was 55%, whereas renewable energy was just 3%. If countries like Sweden are on their way of becoming 100% renewable, why can't we?
95% of Costa Rica's electricity comes from geothermal, solar, hydro and wind for the last 4 years. So why can't we? We Goans will save Goa. You too can save Goa.
Simply by sharing this video to let the world know what's happening in India. Let's save our beautiful Mole.
Let's join hands and save Goa.